Hello, 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 and we are live. How good is that? I can't believe last week I kept trying and trying, and it wasn't just me. There was a real glitch. Anyway, we are live. We are in Beltane season. We have had the new moon and an eclipse, and Mercury has moved today into, let me get this right, because Venus and Mercury have both moved, and Venus is now in Aries. Got something to say about that. And Mercury is now in Gemini. Got something to say about that too. And of course the Pluto retrograde. So lots and lots and lots to talk about. And I hope you're going to enjoy it, because we are now coming into this new frequency. And I keep calling it a new frequency because that was the best way I found of describing how the planets are now different. There's a change. And it's a new frequency. And it's coming in. And it's not just one day or this or that. It's us shifting into it. Anyhow, let's start in the way that I always like us to start, by positioning ourselves. So where are you watching from? Have a ponder, have a moment to position yourself on Earth. Have a ponder to realize where you are, because that's crucial to us knowing our position, knowing where we are, and knowing how we view the universe. So where are you right now? Plant yourself on the ground and say, I'm here. Now, I'm here amongst nature. It's lovely. It's actually quite warm. I'm going to show you behind me, because there's the stream. It's quite low. There's a field. No cows in there at the moment. And everywhere's really quite green and lush, and I want to say Venusian, because I'm really feeling the Venus energy right now. You know, Venus having moved into Aries, she wants nature to be beautiful and abundant always. I mean, Venus rules both Taurus and Libra. And so she's about growth and harvest. She's about abundance. And there she is now in Aries, getting things moving. So she's at 1 degree, just into Aries. And Chiron is at 14. So it's going to be quite a few days really before the two meet. But they will. And I will keep you informed about that. Okay, so let me look at my notes. I asked yesterday in the group if you'd seen my email from Sunday night, if you're on the list. And it's really just to check that the emails are getting through to you, because I do put astrological information, much the same as we talk about here, but there'll be some differences. So it's worth your while opening the emails up and having a quick scan of them. And of course, I did actually within the emails give information about my offer for one-to-one consultation with me. Tune up your birth chart into the new frequencies. It's the only way to work one-to-one with me right now, unless you're in the inner circle where we do have calls, live calls. However, new frequencies. Pluto is now retrograde. And I want to say something about Pluto being retrograde because he's the first one to go retrograde. And, you know, we've had several weeks of really, really direct planetary energy. And it's been great. The insights, the ability to steam ahead with things, the movement, you know, they've been overall or overarching kind of feelings and emotions and energies we could use. But we welcome the retrograde energies because they give us a pause and they give us a chance to look at things slightly differently. And so I'm finding it really interesting that we are now coming into planets going retrograde. And the first one's Pluto. So, Pluto being retrograde. And it's an interesting one because I do see Pluto. He's very transformative. He's very, very slow moving, very deep. Pluto energy is very, very deep. And I do see his energy as looking at the architecture. He's like the architect. And where he is in the birth chart gives us a lot of information about our design moving forwards, how we are designing our lives. I was asked a question around how best to use this retrograde energy to do with where Pluto is in your birth chart. Now, without knowing the intricacies of a birth chart, I can only give quite general clues, which is what I do. And I know they work. I know the star clues work. I know that if you tune into the star clues and you watch them and you're with that particular planet, whatever it's doing, you can get a flavour for what there's a purpose there, for what it means for you. And I think probably in this group, and I wrote the dates down of when Pluto changed, because I looked back to see. And if we look at Pluto in Capricorn, because we really need to think about where he is right now, and he's right at the very end of Capricorn. I was just looking at the exact degree because I've got the chart right next to me, obviously, of course. You wouldn't expect anything less, would you? So Pluto is at 28 degrees 36 minutes of Capricorn. So he's right at the end of Capricorn, and he actually went into Capricorn in 2008. Now Pluto, obviously, as you know, does go retrograde because he's retrograde right now, and he often does go retrograde just before he's changing signs. So we can say that he settled in Capricorn in 2008, but kind of during 2008 he will have been moving between Sagittarius and Capricorn. Now he went into Sagittarius November 1995, but again in 1995 he was kind of, I want to say wobbling, but that's not really what Pluto does, but you know, he was retrograde and forward. And so that year, 1995, he was between Scorpio and Sagittarius, settling in Sagittarius in November. So he went into Scorpio, the water sign, in 1984. So if you're born between 1984 and 1995, there's probably a good chance that you've got Scorpio Pluto, but just to flag it up that when he changes signs and goes retrograde, you may find if you were born actually in 1995 that it's either Sagittarius or Scorpio. So he moved into Libra and settled there in 1972. So between 72 and 84, he was in Libra. approximately again, because 1984, between Libra and Scorpio. And then Virgo, if you were born between June 1958 and roughly August 72, Pluto's in Virgo. One of the best things that I can say to you about spotting how to use these energies is to get used to the element. So by saying that Pluto was in Virgo, or Earth sign, or Sagittarius, a fire sign, you know, it's the look at the element, because that will give you another clue as to how to use the Plutonic transformative designing energy. He is retrograde right now, and as an overall, I feel what Pluto's asking us to do, and this is looking at all of the planets as they gradually go retrograde through this year. And remember, we're now working with a slightly different frequency of energy. I think he's looking for stability. He's in Capricorn right now. It's an earth sign. Whichever sign he is in for you in your birth chart is going to add to different layers of understanding, yes. But I'd kind of like to say, as an overall, where do you find stability? And what's really, oh gosh, I get so enthused, especially because I can just see doors opening ahead for us all as these new frequencies, the new energies as they come in over these next months and into because we're now in that middle part of that special decade that I've been talking about for so long, and I can see the special potentials for us all. I think also what I want to say with the Sun in Taurus, there's an aspect with Sun in Taurus and Jupiter. We've also got a sextile going on today with Jupiter and Pluto again. So if you had a chance to step into your spiritual energy or your power or your focused energy, where would your stabilizers be and how would you move forwards? So that's a kind of thought for you to ponder on as you walk outside in nature over these next few days. And I really do recommend that. We've had the change of season into Beltane energy. You know, there's the 8 seasons, and that's what we're working with in this group. And that's what we work with in greater detail in the inner circle. Because by stepping into the rhythm of these 8 seasons, and we've now moved from spring equinox into Beltane. Now, Beltane is the festival of transformation. It transforms spring magically into summer. It's a very powerful part of the turning wheel of the year. So you're getting a feeling for, we've got transformation going on here. We've got the chance to change things. And it doesn't have to be the great big strides. Remember, we're now coming into some retrograde energy. So these can be quite small steps, but small steps into our pathway forwards. You know, what our soul is calling us to do. What the planet Earth wants us to do, Gaia. You know? So, what else do I want to talk about? The astrological Beltane is on the 5th. I know we celebrate May Day on the 1st of May. And what's going on here, rhythms and cycles, is that actually Beltane is that point between spring equinox and summer solstice. And so we look in astrology for when the sun is at 15 degrees of Taurus, which will be on the 5th. However, it's a new season that we're walking into. It's a new frequency. It's a new energy. And so when you feel called to do your welcoming in, it's the right time for you. And I think I really want to say that about quite a lot of the astrology of the moment. Because even the new moon and the eclipse at the weekend, don't forget, we always say 3 nights before and 3 nights after. A bit longer for an eclipse. So when you feel it's the right time for you, we'll be right. So I've covered an awful lot there. The birds are singing like birds. It's wonderful seeing nature wake up. It's wonderful seeing the abundance of the creative energy springing into summer all around us. And if you're watching this on the other side of the world, you're going into the more autumn into winter. It's still that transformation. It's still one season moving into another. I would love to know how you decide to celebrate this time of moving forwards whilst remaining in your position on earth. And listen for the insights, for the change of frequencies. My offer, Tune Up Your Birth Chart, for the new frequencies is going to be in place. There's only a few every week, and it's going to be in place until the solstice. And the reason for that is because I want you to be able to go into these new frequencies with information that's useful to you. And so in this live today, in this video today, this recording today, I have given you lots and lots of things to think about, absolutely. And some will make sense and some won't, and that's fine, because you get to choose. And that's what astrology is all about, opening our minds to choice, giving us more choices, best choices, the best choices for us. Let me know how you get on. Let me know, #replay if you're watching on rewatch. Let me know where you're watching from. Let me know how I can help you. And remember to begin to tune into the new frequencies. We're talking a lot about these through next year as well, because this is a new course, if you like, that our ships are now navigating into. As always, with so much love from me to you, from Alison, thank you for watching.